Boom, baby. We are officially live. I have my boy Ike Ikechi back on the pod, our personal finance educator. And today we have some great topics that we're going to be discussing. We're going to be talking about personal finance and dating your money in today's marketplace when it comes to dating, relationships, making sure that you're managing your money correctly, making sure that you're making the best decisions with your money and you're still growing your wealth. So, my boy Ike, I know who you are. We always do great podcasts together, but for the people out there that are not familiar with your background, if you can give a quick background story, quick introduction to yourself.
Of course, brother. Yeah, man. And of course, I'm very thankful to be here, Jonathan. Known you for a long time. So, Ikechi Yukazu, I'm a personal financial educator. You can find me on ikechi.thepfe on Instagram, also ikechi.thepfe on TikTok as well. I'm all about providing people with the education and the resources to make the best decisions for their lives. I'm not telling you what to do. I'm telling you different information, and so you can make the best decisions for your own financial journey. So definitely find me there. We can have a conversation, but I'm very excited for this conversation.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Thanks, Ike. And yeah, so man, like last week we got together, we had our conversation, we talked about personal finance, budgeting, growing our wealth, and we came to the conclusion that it's dating is very correlated to your personal finance and
Yeah.
making sure that you're still growing your wealth, but you're still dating, you're still going out there having a good time,
Mhm.
meeting different women, talking to someone that you might be interested in, maybe for your future, to have a something more serious. So before we jump into the video, I want to mention, guys, I always get questions about what are the best credit cards that I use when I'm traveling abroad. Currently, I'm
Mm.
living in Colombia, and in the link in the description below, I'll put all the credit cards that I use, all the software that I use, anything that's relevant to traveling, like personal VPNs, video streaming softwares. I'll link everything in the description below, just so you can just, if you want to use it while you're traveling, is going to be very beneficial. So check those links in the description. But with that being said, let's go ahead and jump into the video.
Let's do
So
this.
Ike, man, so the first thing, bro, when it comes to dating, I guess we're gonna have fun with this conversation
Yeah.
because we're not gonna go off of a strict schedule. I think both of us have had our own experiences when it comes to dating
Yeah.
and when it has come to making sure that you spending that money right.
Right.
So from your experience,
How old are you, Jonathan? Again, just want to make sure I know.
guess, man, before I tell you.
30, 33. 33.
30, I look 33. Okay, I'll
Yeah.
take that. I'll take that. I'm currently 30.
What? Did I just date you? Yeah, man. I would definitely say 30. It's the glasses, bro. It's the glasses.
Yeah, not for sure. I mean, for me, I like being. I don't know. I feel like when it comes to dating, I think as soon as I got into my 30s, things just got better. So I don't
Mm,
know. I like
some.
it. I like it. But for yourself, how are you, Ike, right now currently?
Right. Well, I'll let you guess, man.
You look. I mean, we look like we're around the same age, bro. So I would say like what, 33, 34,
36, bro. 36.
36. Okay,
Yeah.
perfect, man. That's good, man. You you take care of yourself, bro.
We don't crack, and I drink a lot of water. So there we go.
That's good, man. Yeah, I think just working out, hitting the gym hard, that
Ooh, I
just keeps
mean,
you
that's it. That's it.
having
Yeah.
a good diet, sleeping, and hitting the gym hard keeps you young.
It's all the basics, man. It's all the basics.
Yeah, there's no secret sauce to this. It's just the basics, man, fundamentals.
Real quick, I don't know if you've seen Jerry Seinfeld lately. Dude's like 70. Have you seen him in some of these?
No, I haven't.
He's been taking care of himself. It looks like he's in his 50s right now, 40s. It's insane, man. Yeah.
Let's pull him up. Let's see. Jerry Seinfeld.
Jerry Seinfeld.
Let's see. Jerry Seinfeld. He's what? He's in the 60s or 70s?
He's just hit 70 right now.
He just hit 70.
Just hit
Damn.
70. He looks better than, man, dude. I mean, a lot of people who are even in their 50s. It's insane.
Yeah,
And
man.
I love the Joe Rogan kind of style. Just like, let's go look it up. Let's see what's
It's funny. It's funny because of the diet, bro. I think the diet and just exercise on its own keeps you young. It keeps you young and healthy.
I mean, that's what, God, you even talk about stuff there. I mean, your mental diet, your physical diet. I mean, just let me see. I think he started looking pretty weird even in that early ones. But
Man, he just like he's 40 here, bro.
yeah, dude. Yeah. And even though, okay, the second one to the top, right? The second one, yeah. What is the second one to the left? Yep, that one.
This one?
And I think there was a change. You even see it, man. He did something because you have that one and the one directly below him. He looks younger. You see that?
Yeah. Yes.
So he changed something there, but he's really started taking care of himself. And the fact that he's 70 and killing it right now is insane.
It's insane. Yeah, for sure. I think we're all just going to live a lot longer now. Yeah. Just based off technology and based off everything that's all the new like medical advancements, we're probably going to live a lot longer. So that's going to completely change the game too, man. Like dating and going back to the topic. I think that I wanted to get a quick just background history of your dating experience, how you saw dating, like when you started dating for the first time, and how it's evolved or how it's changed as the years progress. So like when you were 15, maybe you started dating, then you got to 20, then you got to 25. Like as the years progressed up into 36, like what has been the biggest differences of your dating experiences? Wow. What's changing your perspective? And how do you feel currently at this point?
Cool. Let's definitely go by decades, right? So teenage, first of all, Nigerian parents, they don't want you to date until you're married. So you have no idea what the hell you're doing getting out there. So, I mean, I made a lot of mistakes being young. Just I didn't know what to do. My dad we can never have a conversation. So there's a lot of me kind of doing trial and error. And then when I got into the Marine Corps, I think that's when things started really taking off as far as my experience and things I could do. Because once you put on that uniform as a Marine, you feel like you could take on the world. And with that confidence, you start attracting girls. So
before the Marines, bro, before the Marines, just jumping in here really fast. Before the Marines, what did you have a girlfriend before the Marines? Did you date a little bit?
Yeah, I did. I had a couple of girlfriends. I mean, I had one or two like really good girlfriends, but nothing. I had some good relationships, but not to where like we can do something long term. I think I learned how to do long-term relationships a little bit later on.
Yeah. So was it like in your 18, 19, 20, first girlfriend?
I mean, I would definitely say my first girlfriend was probably 14. Yeah.
14?
Yeah.
14. Okay, cool. And what were your thoughts when you dating that young?
Yeah. I mean, no, it was a trial and error thing. It was just like kind of figuring it out. It was just kind of the romance and the movie part of it, taking her on dates, first kiss at the carnival sort of thing. Oh, let me take movies. Oh, we get to hold hands. Oh my God, that sort of thing. So it was really
first kiss,
first kiss kind of stuff, man. Yeah,
behind the football stands.
All the movies, all the things we did. Yeah.
Okay, cool. So I think that was the same thing for me, man. Like high school, I think I got my first. Well, I had like a couple girlfriends in middle school, but it was never nothing serious until I got to high school. Yeah. And so then you jump into the military, you go to the Marines.
Oh my God.
And then I think I just know that women love a man in uniform. So
this is why the suit is on right now. No,
for sure.
With the Marine Corps, I mean, of course, because you start getting in shape and stuff like that, like girls, so I think that's when I really started to get what you could do. But also I didn't start mastering my communication, and you talk about game and stuff like that, right? So that came later on. But I think I started having some more success, I would say there. And where I think really I started hitting it off is probably like later. I mean, dude, college was awesome for me. It was. I think I kind of hit like a high point there, and it was just like everything, you could do everything. And also I want to make sure I talk about it now, because now in the 30s, kind of seeing for me, okay, what I want long term for my girl, also where my relationship is with Christ. I'm being very intentional about who I invite on these dates and everything. So I think right now, especially during my single season, focusing on my purpose and my business, it's like, okay, let me I have to be Christian. Let me focus on my purpose, and whoever's going to be along my journey is going to be something that comes alongside. But I'm not I'm not steering off my path looking for her. That's where I am in my 30s. And I just got out of a relationship. It was a 7-month relationship. She was, I mean, a beautiful girl. Nothing bad to say about her, but I don't think that was what God wanted me to be with.
Yeah, I got you. So just jumping back to your military experience. So how old were you when you were when you got into the military, and then when you got out the military?
Yeah, it was 18 to 22. So it was a
18 to 22.
4 years in, and I was out. Yeah.
Okay, cool. But I would imagine that since you were in the Marines, you were busy, right? Most of the time, even though you were, you had your uniform, you were doing your thing and having a good time in the military, in the Marines. I would imagine that you were just so busy just having to do what Marines do.
Yeah, I mean, you would think, right? Which I'm going to write about an article about just how I had an idea to be like one time in boot camp. I think the name of the article, but basically just to let people know it was just a job. It was the most. I mean, it's probably similar to what you're doing over there. You go to work and then you have your time off. It's not like you're constantly on the field shooting guns and stuff like that. You do a job, and then if you're doing something where it's like a deployment, then that's where you don't have any time to really do anything. But I think when you're stateside, you're just living your life and just trying to make sure you keep up the Marine values.
And did you date while you were in the Marines?
Yeah. I mean, and of course, I mean that's when a lot more attention started to happen. But yeah, I did. And I think I started having more successful relationships once I started figuring out, okay, how can I use confidence, how I look, and also just the communication style and put it all together.
Got you. And then, so that happened. You go into college. That's when we meet at the university.
Yeah.
And I would agree with you that in college is probably when I had the best experience as well. When it came to dating. So I want to touch on that. Why do you think? Because not right now that we're really analyzing money and dating. Why do you think? Like, I remember when I was in college, bro. Like, I was pretty broke. For the most part, I didn't really have I had a part-time job. I was making I was making like maybe like 200 or 300 a week. Right. I had financial aid, but even though we didn't have abundance in capital. Why is it that it was a lot like our college experience when it came to dating was
for sure
maximized?
And not to cut you, I'm sorry, because if I'm understanding, you're just trying to see, okay, why was it a better experience? I think just because it was fun, I think sometimes, of course, you want to have something you kind of sync up with and have your lady that's really with you, but whenever you're kind of just living your life and having fun, you're going to attract better options, So I think it was just taking away all the pressure of the real world and just living our life. And then everyone was just friends. And then when you got a chance to date girls, I think it was just a better experience because nobody was like, okay, even if it was something serious, it was met in a more fun, cultivated environment.
Yeah. Definitely. So the environment had to do a big key role there because. Yeah, because you're around other people that are your age. Everyone's having a good time. Everyone's in that age where just having fun.
Yeah,
it makes dating a lot easier. Do you think if someone that's 18 to 24, if they weren't in college, it would be more difficult to have that same type of dating experience?
I definitely believe so because I think the thing you have whenever you're dating, some of the people in the manosphere talk about social proof. Basically, people can validate for you. I know you probably know that stuff, but I mean, when you're in college, you have your friends. And then the girls the girls get to check you out through the people you're hanging around with. So it's a lot easier when you have all these people saying, "Okay, well, this guy's cool." Or have you heard about Ikechi? Or you've heard about Medina? Medina's a freaking guys. Medina was a freaking rock star.
Man, we both were doing our thing, man. You're here taking out the guitar.
Yes, and please, we have to get that video back. I still have of you playing guitar, me playing guitar, you singing, bro. Such good times.
Oh yeah, that was fun.
We were living things, talents, and of course, when we have that kind of energy, when we're having fun, you're gonna attract people who are trying to have fun with you. So it's like, and this is cool because you're not trying to impress anybody. You're just having fun, and then girls are trying to be a part of that. Everyone's trying to be a part of that. It's a big party.
Those panties were just dropping, bro.
I would have said that was the scenario, Medina.
No, guys, for me, we're just having fun, man. It's just we're just having fun out here. But yeah, I think I think it was a good time, man. But I think the main point here that we need to touch on is environment, man. Environment has a lot to do with your dating experience,
Right.
because if you are in those environments, like we said, like we went to college,
Right.
and guys, like going to college just to get girls is not the reason why you want to go to
Thank you.
college, but
Or
it
going to
is.
church. If you're going to church, I see people who do that too, and they're the most
Yeah.
awkward. Anyway, yeah.
Yeah, it's like it's not the environment. I mean, it's a byproduct that comes with it. I think you have to be aware of, like, there's going to be a lot of girls. A lot of girls are going to be having fun. There's going to be a lot of alcohol involved. So
Right.
you have to be aware of that, and just don't let it use you. Like, how we talked about credit cards, that don't
Right.
get sucked into the trap of, you're in college but you're going for a worthless degree that's not going to help you, and once you graduate, you don't have opportunities lined up
Right.
to really maximize your skills and make more money.
Mhm.
Go to college to get your education, get those high level skills, so once you graduate, you start making money. But as we're analyzing it right now, environment does have a big part to play into your dating, because, like, for me and I got, like, I think dating was really, really easy when we were in college. I think we had a really good experience. I could play the guitar. I would sing occasionally, and we
Girls,
were involved.
this
Girls
guy.
loved it. Yeah, girls loved it. We were involved in different organizations. Ike was part of HBSA with me, so and then you were in the personal finance one. You were in I think it was FA, right?
It was FA, because I was also doing the financial seminars as well. So just being out there, and it wasn't even like I was intentionally, let me go talk to girls. It was like, hey, I found things that I was super passionate. Let's talk about this, because now we're getting to the finance too, and the money. It was just like, anytime that you are living in your light and kind of doing things that are really fun, and you're kind of living out loud, and like almost like your life was a movie, people want to be a part of that movie, and it's like you don't even have to work. So I was doing these financial seminars when I was in school. I was playing guitar, and I was like having all these amazing, it was Snapchat back then.
Snapchat, yeah.
I had these amazing Snapchat stories. It was like
It's that reggaeton song by J Balvin, bro.
I
Snapchat.
think it was like people wanted to be a part of that fun and part of that story that we were making. So it was a good time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. And when I think when you're in college and you just have all that vitality, you're having fun. Like you said, you're living your own movie. And then once you meet other guys like that, and you start to associate with different people like that, it's like, okay, well, I know Ike is doing this thing over here in finance. I know that Jose is doing this thing over here in marketing. John is over here in accounting. So, you start building that network, and then just, everyone just starts to get to know each other. Everyone knows who you are. That social proof starts to grow. So I think networking, that social proof that you mentioned earlier is powerful when it comes to dating, because it's the same thing as marketing. If no one knows who you are, it's going to be very difficult to meet women, to date, because you're just like this random guy that no one knows. So I think that your presence on social media and just getting out there in your community, whether it's if you're doing finance, if you're with your church, whatever it is, just get out there and be involved in your community, because it's going to increase that social proof, and you're just going to just have a better social experience in general. You're going to have more friends.
Exactly. And I think going to that point, it saves you so much. As we go with the finance, it saves you so much money trying to meet girls or whatever. Because if you're kind of just living your movie, living your life, you're going to run into these situations, and then you're going to attract people who are just trying to get to know you. And then, of course, with that, you're going to attract girls who are trying to get to know you a little bit more. And it's just a lot easier, because you're not having you don't have to try hard, And I think even now that this is especially doing this podcast with you, Medina, it's like, okay, we are connecting these friendships that we have for such a long time, and we're building these networks. So I'm excited to see what you do with this, and how many other guys we can have on this show as we build this network and people want to join what we're doing.
Yeah, for sure. And like you mentioned, the attractive character, right? It's your movie, and it's always helpful to follow your passion. So whatever you're interested in, you're going to find like-minded people that are in that sphere. So if you like finance, if that's the part that you're just passionate about, there's going to be other people that are going to be just as passionate as you, and you can develop really strong relationships in that aspect.
Exactly.
Same thing with these podcasts. Like I know that I saw that you were doing your content, you were building your channel,
Yep.
and I knew that it was going to be a great idea to make these podcasts and these collaborations together
Yep.
because this is something that you're also passionate about. You want to help people in the
Yeah.
realm of finance. You want to maximize, make sure that everyone's spending money correctly, budgeting.
Yeah.
So you have that natural passion, and it makes it easy for us to get together, have a good time while we're doing this podcast, but at the same time, we're actually producing high level content and actually trying to help people with our content.
And you can feel it right now. It feels like I'm chilling with my boy. Back in U of H, we're continuing this friendship, man. So it's not like we're trying. This even feels like a conversation we've had in college. I think we've had some iteration of this type of discussion, where it's like we're not trying too hard. We're just trying to just connect with each other. And I think you were even about this stuff when I met you at U of H. You were just all about just being the best version of yourself, being the best man that you can be. And as you were going along that path, you started attracting opportunities.
That's a really good point there, man, because I think I noticed the same thing in you. I noticed that you were a guy that was driven on what your goals were, because I saw that, your background, you were in the Marines.
Yep.
And I think that's made it, and I saw your evolution through college because you were in different organizations and I saw that you were just hustling, man. You were grinding. And I think that made it easy for us to become friends, because once you're in the same path, that same wavelength, it makes it easy to really become friends with somebody like that. But what I wanted to touch on there is that when it comes to men, do you believe that it's essential for you to have that mission, that purpose, where you're driven, you're naturally driven, where other people will notice it, you will garner, like, I respected you from when I met you. And I think that you garner respect from other men because they see that you're passionate and you're grinding on your purpose. And then also from women, they see that you actually have a mission, that you're ambitious and you're driven to a goal. Do you think that having that purpose, having that mission is helpful for dating and attracting someone that could be a good relationship for you?
Yeah, first of all, thank you so much for saying those kind words. And I mean, I echo those things back to you, which is why we're on this conversation together. Yeah, definitely. And I think finding your purpose is quintessential to making sure you're being the best person you could possibly be and attracting the best options. When you're at your best, you're going to attract the best in other people. And so I think that the question that we go to from here is how do you find your purpose? And I talked about this on my Instagram, my TikTok, was finding those things that, okay, this may be a soundbite, we'll just say for what it is. Mahatma Gandhi has a quote, and I used to say this back in U of H days: you find yourself by losing yourself in the service of others. So to find those options where you are able to lose yourself, having conversations, just like now, I'm losing myself in this conversation. We're not talking, this is having fun. And then also whenever you find those parts where time ceases to exist, and I had this part where I talked to one of my clients, and we were just in this place where, okay, I'm helping you with your finances and you're trusting me for what I do. That magic is created, and that's where you find your purpose. You may have to do some, and I think the best thing to do, especially when it comes to finding your purpose, is finding things you naturally resonate with. Like, what shows are you watching right now? What movies really, really light you up? What kind of people do you like being around? And if you kind of find those and ask those questions, then you'll be able to find what you want to pursue and your purpose. But to answer your question, that's going to be very important to say we have to find our purpose, because that's going to attract the best options in life.
Yeah, for sure. I just think when you actually have a goal, like you're driven towards something, you really like, people just admire that, because it shows that you have something in mind, you have a goal, you want to reach it. And like in my experience, girls are just more attracted to that when it comes to dating.
Yeah.
So so like, let's go ahead and just pull up that quote. I wanted to quickly see it. So this is the
man. There it is.
The best way to find yourself is to lose yourself in the service of others.
I remember I saw that quote, and this is man, it's taking me back in like 2014, 2015. I think that's when I started looking at, okay, what can I do in college? But when I started looking at these, this is when Instagram was on a new side. I don't know if you remember. Yeah, 2014, 2015, all these little motivational quotes started showing up. And this was life changing when I saw that quote. I was like, okay, cool. So I'm not, this is purpose, So
yeah.
Yeah.
I think do you believe in like intuition of either through just your own intuition, maybe God
Yeah.
channels some of
Yeah.
that intuition, but you kind of I feel like we all know what we want to do. Like there's like this calling inside of us
It's a calling.
that that lets you know, okay, you should maybe focus on this. You know you like this, and I think that listening to that inner voice helps out a lot
That part.
because it really leads you where you need to go. You touched on this when we were discussing the Alchemist by
Yeah.
Paulo Coelho,
Yes,
and
sir.
it's like it leads you on like where you want to actually pursue and take your career.
Exactly.
But I also agree that it's helpful to just try out different things. If you don't know exactly what you like, try out as many things as you can,
Right.
just so you can get a feel for it. Because, like in my experience, like training martial arts, mixed martial arts, like you get to train boxing, and then you train jujitsu, then you train wrestling, and then you see which one you like and which one you know is your least favorite.
Right. Right. Right.
So same thing. It's the same thing with like your career. You're not really going to learn what you really like unless you actually go out there and try it. Because
Yeah.
once you actually try it, you're going to see that, okay, maybe this is not for me. You know, it's not something that I
Yeah.
really like. It's not what I expected, and that's completely fine. You took the risk. You went through it, but now you can make the adjustment and pivot into something that you might like even more.
Yeah.
And
And
I
it's that
think that
go ahead.
yeah.
Go ahead.
I was going to mention that I think that with this quote here by Muhammad Gandhi, I think it makes a lot of sense. If you can find your passion by helping people, like if you actually bring value to the marketplace, whether you're solving an issue or a problem, then you're really cooking because you're following your passion and you're also helping other people.
Yep.
And if you look at the story of any entrepreneur, any business owner, that's essentially what they do. Like a lot of people hate on Jeff Bezos or these
Right.
billionaires, but if you really look at, if you really break down on what they've done, you see how much value they brought into society. Like Elon Musk, everything that they've done through their companies, they've helped so many lives. And yeah, they can get some flack, they can get some criticism, but at the end of the day, they're helping lives, and that's why people pay them for it. So
Exactly.
it's like, yeah, it's like the service. You're often in the service, but you are solving problems.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, and we're talking about dating, which is this is all related to, right? It's kind of finding our own superpowers, right? Like Jeff Bezos, and we saw where he first started. He was just super passionate. Being, I know Jorgen had done this on his podcast where he was inside his garage with the Amazon thing, just with a dream. And now he's a fucking billionaire and has a million, whatever people are trying to look for him or whatever. But anybody who's living in their purpose and living that at their maximum potential, they're going to attract the best things. Even, I talk about LeBron James I think you may have mentioned him last time. He has options for days, or Drake, whatever. They just did what they loved, and then people started falling in love with who they were.
Yeah, for sure.
You do the garage one?
What I wanted to pull is like, how old was Jeff Bezos when he got rich? Because if I'm not mistaken, he was in his 30s. I think he was in his early 30s or mid 30s, around there.
Really?
And yeah, so it's like, and it's funny. It's interesting to see the story of Amazon because I don't believe he was profitable until later into starting the company.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's somewhere around this point here. I'm trying to see.
All these guys right there. Can we just pause real quick? Can you scroll?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. We got Bezos, we got Musk, we got Gates, we got Zuckerberg. Whether some of these guys are likable, that's a whole nother thing. That's another conversation. I do like I like Gates actually right now, but they all had a dream. They followed their dream to fruition, and now they have amazing options. So.
Yeah, I like from the four of these guys, I would say I like Musk the most.
Really? Why do you like Musk? Yeah. This is interesting
because I think he's like a proponent for free speech. Like he's not, because I think that when you get to that point as a billionaire, you can really start making decisions where you're like, you know what, we don't care about the little people. We don't care about someone that's poor in Bangladesh. Like we're just trying to make money, and I think that Elon Musk is still like, okay, we're gonna hold ourselves to our values of the First Amendment. If I don't agree with what you're saying, it's fine, but we're gonna keep this as an open platform and everyone can discuss their ideas.
Yes, sir.
And when you have so much money and so much power, you can start controlling masses of people. And I think that Elon Musk is the type of guy that's like, okay, even though I've accumulated all these resources, we're still keeping the conversation open. You know, it's not we're not trying to shut down anything. And I think these other guys, you know,
it can get to your head.
Yeah, these guys have had episodes where they try to control things, and it's like, okay, man, like, you know, you need to tone that down a little bit, you know.
Yeah, you got to tone it down, homie, for sure.
Yeah. So but you mentioned like this is all related. Dating and money is all related, and I wanted to touch on that because like since we went to college, we went to school, we graduated. Studying these books, reading these books, going to school, getting your education. At the end of the day, it's like you're trying to maximize your skills. You're trying to level up your skills so you can make more money. And as a byproduct, dating will become a lot easier.
Right.
From your experience, after you graduated, started making some money, how did you see the dating marketplace? Did it get better for you? Did you have more opportunities to actually take a girl out and have a better date with a girl?
Oh, yes. Heck yeah. I mean, just, you know, when you start making, I would just say wealth, man. Because okay. And of course, I'm a financial educator now. I talk about money, but money's going to allow you to do some of the things you want to do, right? But if you kind of focus on wealth and your mind and what you're able to do, you're able to have a little bit better options. So my thing, especially, and this is where we kind of bring back to the money side, right? When I'm dating a girl, I'm not focused on the most lavish dates. I'm trying to focus. Yeah, I'll say that. I'm not focused on having the most lavish, expensive. I'm trying to focus on how we can make our life like a movie and enjoy and be completely present in the moment. And if I can get her to enjoy time with me and I can enjoy time with her, that may not cost that may not cost that much. And all it takes is you being creative and saying, what kind of experience am I trying to create with this girl? And it may not involve as much as your pocketbooks as you think is necessary.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think it just depends. It really depends. I think it changes a lot when you're younger. You don't really have to spend that much money because, like, when we're in college, you didn't really have to spend any. You know, you're just having fun. You go to a football game, maybe spend like $10 on a beer, and you're good to go.
Right.
And you're good to go. You have a good time, and she'll have a good time too. No one really thinks about it too much when you're like in your early 20s like that. But once you start getting a little older and you jump into like 24, 25, you graduate college, then the dating workflow.
Let me jump in there if I can. I would say it's almost like a curve, right? Like I want to start with this girl. We're starting with, I don't want to say low investment. That just sounds very kind of like she's an object. But I would say we have to start from somewhere and then build to somewhere. And then, of course, you know, if I'm starting to get to the point, okay, we may start off with like we meet for drinks, you know, something like that. We get a bite to eat at a restaurant. And then if I see more, okay, this is the kind of girl I want to spend time with, I'm going to want to invest my time and my resources more. So as we start getting to the point, okay, I want this girl to be my girlfriend. Okay, cool. Now we can start talking about things. And maybe 6 months in, 3 months in, okay, you're my girl. Where you want to go? We're making this happen. And of course, this happened with the girlfriend I just dated. Like her birthday, we went to a very nice restaurant. But I'm not taking that. I'm with that same scenario. I wasn't going to take her there unless I knew that she was actually into me for me. So I think you have to start off small, and then you kind of, it's almost like the investment, which is all related as well. You kind of build into something where it's like it grows into something special.
Yeah, absolutely. Because you don't want to start leading with your wallet from the jump, where you're taking her. Let's say it's her birthday. You barely met her that first week. It's her birthday, and then you're trying to do the same thing. It's like, nah, you gotta build the rapport. And
exactly.
I think it's very similar to business. Like if you've seen like sales and business, it's in marketing, it's very similar to those concepts where you have to build the rapport. You have to see if it's a good investment.
Yes.
If you want to invest more into it.
Right.
And like I mentioned this in one of my previous videos where I said that I put up a quote by Michael Corleone from The Godfather. And he says that.
Okay, we're talking
yeah, in that quote, he said he tells his brother, like, "Hey, Sonny, it's not business. It's not personal. It's only business." And in some cases, bro, like everything is business, man. Everything is business. When you're thinking about life in general, it's business. Is there a return on your investment with your time?
Yep.
Is there a return on your investment with your money?
Yep.
Are you gonna get something maximized from said relationship? So
Right.
I think that in that case, once you build that rapport, like it makes sense to take out your girl to
Yeah.
a good restaurant, fancy dinner. But from
Right.
the beginning, you need to test the waters first, man, because
Yeah.
you got to test it, because regardless of what happens, let's say you say, okay, you meet a new girl, you want to take her out on a coffee date, or you just want to get to know her first, and
Mhm.
then you tell her that you want to take her to a coffee date, see how she reacts to that. If she's
Yeah.
like, yeah, that's cool. If she reacts positively to that, that means okay, like she has an open mind. She wants to get to know you for who
Yes.
you are. There's
Yep.
low investment into that activity.
Right.
But if she says no, like a coffee date is below my standards, that also tells you a lot about that girl. Because now you start to realize, okay, well, what else does she want? We're barely getting to know each other. Maybe she thinks she has like higher expectations of something that we're barely starting to, get the ball rolling. You hold on, like build some rapport, see what's going on. She needs to some extent, it has to be earned, right? Because if you
Right.
really think about it, you're going to be investing so much time, energy, and attention into the relationship, so it has to be earned. You can't just be giving out your attention to everyone. That's when you start going into that simp philosophy where your time and your attention don't have any value to it because you give it to anyone.
Yeah.
So when you start to put more value into your energy, your attention, your time, women will naturally respect it more, because they know that if they don't play by your terms, then they're not going to get more of you going forward.
Yeah. And I think just understanding kind of your worth, and I think that's basically what you're saying is very, very good. Also, there's a quote that I want to say from The Alchemist. If you haven't read The Alchemist, make sure you read that, as well as the other finance books I talked about, Simple Path to Wealth, and also The Rich Man in Babylon, which are great books. But The Alchemist has a quote that says, "To realize one's destiny is a person's only real obligation." And here's the thing: in The Alchemist, it's a story about a guy who tries to go for his purpose, and he had an option in his entire journey where he could have stayed with this girl that he met in the desert. And then basically there was like almost a fortune told where it's like, okay, if I stayed with the girl in the desert, then I would have never been fully satisfied or been happy. And that's the thing we have to realize for us. Our purpose and why we're here, what we were created for, is our primary objective. Everything else comes secondary. And then when you have somebody who's trying to support your purpose and support your objective, that's the girl that should be a part of your life.
Bro, you just dropped so many bombs there, man. And I think that we really need to unpack this one, because like that I also read that part from that book, and I thought it was so powerful, because when he got to that place, if I'm not mistaken, he was in the oasis, right, with that girl.
Yeah. It was in this desert. I think they were heading to the oasis. I read the book recently, but yeah, they were in the desert.
Yeah, I recall that in that scene, like he was in a very comfortable position in his journey.
Good.
Like
Please continue, Jonathan. I don't want to.
Yeah, like he was in a very comfortable position where he was like, okay, I can stay here, I can stay with my girl, and everything is gonna be comfortable. But then there was that calling inside of him that was like, all right, man, like no, you know that you need to go, you know that there's a bigger thing that you need to accomplish, and that just kind of like it helped them to make that decision. And I think nowadays, like looping it back, is like it can be very easy to get comfortable in a relationship. I've seen this a lot with a lot of friends, and just a couple of guys, where you can get comfortable and you can let yourself get out of shape. You start to let your money, your finances go down. You're not really focusing too much on leveling up your skills anymore. And that's one thing that you have to be very, very cautious about, is getting too comfortable, man. Like my boy Future says in that song, bro, like too comfortable. When I hear that song by Future, Too Comfortable, it reminds me not about like girls. It reminds me of myself. Like, motherfuckers, don't get too comfortable, because if you start getting comfortable, that's when the problems start to happen. That's when the problems start to arise, because you're not taking care of yourself. You're not taking care of your finances. You're not hitting the gym as hard enough. And that's when the issues start to pile on. It gets a lot more difficult when it comes to dating.
That definitely. And to your point as well, I think it goes for both. I want my girl to also be on her purpose as well, because this is huge, right? This is, man, hear me here, guys, please. Because once you start getting more successful, we'll just say successful, so you have some money, you can start attracting some girls, right? They just want to get to the train. And once they get on that train, they get to that destination, they're cool. They let the bags go. They're done.
Mm-hmm.
Right? But if you have a
Mm-hmm.
girl that's trying to also, okay, she's still growing herself. She's still trying to become her best self. Then you're both growing together. And that's a very beautiful journey where as you get older, you're getting better and becoming wiser. And it's something where you can have this adventure of a lifetime with this person rather than, okay, she comes and she's just, okay, well, I'm taking care of her, I'm good. And she just starts, doing whatever she wants to do.
Yeah, for sure. So we just got a live chat, man, from my boy Gambling Gourmet.
Oh, wow.
And he just asked us right now, how do you find these good girls? So you can go first, or I can go first, whatever you
Okay, we got some people in this. This is cool. We'll have to do this again. I mean, I think it goes back to what we were saying. Like once you start to level up and become the best version of yourself and focus on your purpose, focus on your passion, and not to. If this sounds like bragging, please let me know, Jonathan. I'm not trying to do this, but I mean, now as say my business and everything going on, like once you start to focus on yourself, people are going to start to want to also naturally attract to what you're doing. Once you are able to live in your light and your purpose, people are going to be attracted to that light like a moth. So all you have to do is focus on shining bright and being the best version of you. And then also, let's say this too, because a lot of people say there's a lot of work that's involved in that too. But when it's your passion, it's not really a work. But when it's something you're really passionate about, you're just doing what you love. Like this conversation is technically work, but not really, because it's my boy Jonathan. But we're still creating content. We're still technically working and creating. And then naturally, people will be watching this stuff. I'm sure girls gonna be like, "Oh my gosh, this guy has sunglasses. Let me go talk to him." Are these guys in a fresh suit? Like this is to answer your question. This.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, you have that image.
Yes, man.
Yeah, for sure. I think it depends. It changes. It changes a lot based off what position you are in life. So like, how do you attract and find these good girls? So you can find a good girl when you're young. I think from like 18 to 25, if you're on your grind, if you're on your mission, you're on your purpose. Right. If you're taking care of yourself, like my boy, I said, you're staying fresh, you're looking good, you're attractive, you're hitting the gym, you know how to dress, you know how to, wear cologne, you smell good. If you're doing all those things, you're naturally going to attract like good women.
Yep.
And so, but the part that's going to keep them, the retention part, is that they see that you're driven, that you have ambitious, and that you're intelligent, that you actually have a goal in mind, and you share that with her. Even if you're broke, even if you're a young guy and you're broke, you're not making that much money, you're trying to level up, they're really gonna be attracted to that, and you'll find a good girl like that. She'll ride or die with you if she finds that. If she finds that you have that potential and you're working on your mission. On the other side of the coin, if let's say you don't go through that route, and you want to attract a girl, a good girl, and maybe you're like an older guy, it's always best to just focus on trying to level up yourself. Even if you don't get her when you're younger, you might get her. You're probably gonna get her when you get older, because if you focus on leveling up yourself, you're gonna be maximized across the board. You're gonna get your money right, follow your career, follow your passion, hit the gym hard, get your body on point, make sure that your mindset is right, get to really understand who you are as a man, what you like, you understand your boundaries, you understand your goals, you understand what you want out of life. And the girls are naturally gonna gravitate towards a guy like that because he knows what he wants, and his image is a reflection to the world of who he is. So like if you see Ike, for example, he has a suit. This guy's in shape. He looks good. Even if I didn't know Ike, like this is the first time that I ever saw Ike in the street.
Right there. All crap is what he's not good.
No, the bullshit to the side, man. If I saw Ike for the first time in the street, you know that he's about it, man. Like he's a professional. Whatever he works in, he's doing his thing, and he's committed to it. So girls naturally pick up on that energy. It is off of first glance. You have to think about how you come across in face value. So what's your impression when a girl first sees you? If she sees that you're out of shape, it might show that you lack some discipline because you're not hitting the gym or you're not dieting or eating correctly. If she sees that you're in shape, that you're strong, you got that six pack going. She knows that you're consistent and you're disciplined and you actually put the time in to go into the gym. So your body just says so much about you. So I think that when you focus on leveling up yourself first, focus on your mission and your purpose, you're naturally gonna attract good girls. Then the other coin that goes into it is discernment, actually understanding what's a good girl and what's a bad girl. Because in today's dating marketplace, the game has changed a lot because of social media and the way that technology has advanced so much in the last couple of years. So there, like we were mentioning earlier with the coffee dates, is like you really have to discern if a girl is a good girl or not. If she tells you like a coffee date is not good enough for her, then it's like, okay, like she has her standards, but maybe that's not the good girl that you're looking for. Right. Because what happens if you start running low on funds, or let's say shit hits the fan, and you can't pay for something, and that first sign of trouble, she's gonna walk out of your life. So you need to really understand like what's going on, if she can actually stick with you, ride or die, through thick and thin when shit really gets real.
Right. And if I can add to this too, I also want to speak from a faith perspective, because I believe in Jesus. I know that I would not be where I am without him, as far as the grace that I've received as a son. In that, even with the past relationship I had, I prayed about it, and I put a lot of thought in, hey, Lord, I want to be in a relationship that actually means something. And I met that amazing girl. No, it did not work out, but I mean, I knew from that experience, from praying and realizing that, okay, if I just kind of don't worry about it and just kind of put it into his hands and kind of focus on what I'm doing, it'll naturally happen. So I do want to also speak to the Christians for a second, if that's cool, Jonathan. Just to
go ahead. Yeah.
I mean, it's a cool position where I don't ever want to have to specifically say I want to like look specifically for a wife. I just want to do what I'm doing, live into my purpose, the reason that God put me here on this earth. And then really what I'm looking for is not really I'm looking for someone who's going to partner with me on that purpose, and that woman's going to be that helper. So I think definitely as a Christian is taking a lot of the pressure of, let me try to get as many girls, let me try to work on my game. You don't have to do any of that. All you have to do is kind of live in your purpose, do the reason that God was here, put you here for, and everything else will come secondary.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
As I was always say, you kind of put God first, and then everything else will fall into place. And it's a beautiful thing when that happens.
Yeah, I agree. I agree that when you follow like a higher power, you have faith. I think everyone should have faith, really, whether it's Christianity, Islam, even Judaism, or any of the Asian religions. As long as you follow a higher power, you know that there's something going on that's bigger outside of us. I think that's where there's a lot of power in that, and you really get a lot of spiritual enlightenment from having a higher power. I think you have a good plan there, where how you're following God. You're most likely gonna meet a woman that's also in that same position, where she also has the same mindset as you do. I think when it comes to game is a skill, man. Like what I've seen is that game is also something that I think is very beneficial to know. That position where things can, you don't understand you don't understand body language, you don't understand tonality, and just understanding those little subtleties will make the relationship that you're ready to go into, like the serious relationship that you want, a lot smoother, because you know how to understand how to communicate effectively with your woman. Communication is one of the biggest, I think, is one of the biggest keys to a healthy relationship. If you know how to communicate and actually get your point across, or if you need something, you know how to ask for it. You're not just like in this position where you don't really know, you don't want to rock the boat too much. That part also comes into play. So I think game is just a skill that you have to learn. You have to take a couple licks, because through the process of trying to learn game, I think I went through this process when I was in my early 20s. Back when we were in college, that's probably when I learned more of these concepts. But it was more in the field. Like I wasn't reading books about it. I was just having fun with my friends, with my boy Ike. And occasionally, you would get rejected by a girl, or something would happen, or a girl she didn't like your vibe anymore, and then she stopped talking to you. So that is game to a certain extent, because you analyze what happened there, right? Like did I come off too strong? Did I not do this? Did I not, fulfill like certain things? So you understand that part. And what I realized is that when you do that retrospect analysis and you start to make the adjustments, it just makes it easier when you're talking to new women and you actually see a woman that has potential and you want to make that relationship go further.
Right.
So understanding like those things, learning from your experiences has a lot to do with it, man. Having that growth mindset where, it's part of the game. If something happens, you get rejected, you get broken up with. Right. I've been there. I've been through all of it, man. Up and downs. It's part of the game, and there's just kind of understanding that you're gonna take some licks through the process.
Right, Medina, have you read 3% Man?
I have not. I see it on YouTube. It's good.
Right, it's life changing. It is honestly. It makes it really simple, and it makes it almost too simple. All I want to say, okay, because yes, I'm a Christian, but also God still, I've had some parts in my life where I was like, let me just kind of figure this whole thing out. Thank God I'm not there anymore. But all I can say is when I was there, and just trying to just date and be out there and date these girls, you realize it's not that hard, especially for girls who are kind of looking for this caricature or this stereotype. You can play the stereotype. Let me just say this. Okay, so what 3% Man is all about, trying to just make you be that alpha male. If you start to make yourself more mysterious, whatever it is, or make sure you kind of, don't respond. It's all these things. It teaches you basically game. It's been licking your. Okay, read 3% Man, but also be careful because What I will say, and go back to the alchemist conversation, is that a girl having as many girls as possible is not going to satisfy you, bar none. I'm going to say that. There's never going to be a girl that's going to make you fully happy all the time. So your purpose and why you're here is going to make you happy. But definitely 3% Match is going to help with kind of how you can communicate better, how you can make sure you're being the rock that she needs, that sort of thing. It works on your game. And I don't know if we checked the private chat, Jonathan.
Yeah, let me check it. Okay, cool. Yeah, so we'll. Oh, okay, sorry about that, man. Yeah, so no worries. Let's go ahead and so I guess, are you good for 10 more minutes?
Yeah, and then
10, and we'll wrap it up. All right, so yeah, guys, we're getting to the top of the hour. We might wrap up soon, but so I have heard that book, the 3% Man, and another good one is the Way of the Superior Man by David Deida. It's a great book to kind of get that mindset of leveling up yourself and getting to like the best version of yourself. My boy here, Gambling Gourmet, on the comments, he just said that it's been a licking year for me, but doing it in a different language to start isn't an easy thing to do.
What does it mean? Like a different language? Are you learning English? What does he mean by that?
He's probably maybe in a different country.
Okay.
Yeah, he can drop it down, but I mean, bro, it's part of the game, bro. Like if you have if you're having a rough patch dating, it's part of it, man. Just there's some times that, like, there was a time when I was in Mexico, bro. Like, it was like 6 months. I was just working. I wasn't really dating that much, and it was just like my dating life wasn't the best at that point. I was just focused on my mission. And I think that there's some points as a man that those times are gonna come, bro. Like when those times come, double down on yourself, man. Double down on your mission. Double down on your purpose. Level up your skills, and then what you'll realize is that once you get out of that stretch, you're gonna become a way different person. You're gonna be on another level where girls are just gonna be more attracted to that version of you as well. Yeah. So I always look at the positive things, and if you're dating abroad, it is going to be different because of the language barrier, but also look for language exchanges, because if you go to different places, a lot of times big cities have language exchanges where different foreigners get together and they try to learn different languages. So if someone's from France, someone's from the US, they come together in those language exchanges and they try to learn from the different language. So you can also network and meet different people like that as well. And a lot of the locals go to those language exchanges so they can learn English. If you know English, they'll want to learn English, so they'll be there and they'll talk to you and they'll teach you Spanish or whatever language you're trying to learn. So that's a good way to get there.
Yeah. On that tip too, right? Like English speaker speaking Spanish. Okay, same. Dude, this is so funny. Eso es muy divertido porque estoy tratando de hablar español más. Y cuando yo hablo español con las chicas le gustan cuando yo hablo español, you know? So even just focusing on the skills, I mean, I've heard that I was like, I could be passed for a Dominican dude or whatever. But what you're doing, right? What you're doing right now, working on the skills, working on the habits, I mean, it's going to yield so many results. You know, and I said we said it last time. The skills pay the bills, but basically, skills create opportunities for wealth, expansion, for abundance. So, yeah, keep doing that Spanish. Keep working on read 3% Man, and I think there are a couple. I don't know if you're okay. Sure, on YouTube. Also, check out this website. This a YouTube channel called Charisma on Command. Game changer. Game changer.
Yeah, shout out to them, man. They have a lot of great content on their channel as well. There's a great book that I wanted to mention also. It's called the Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck by Mark Manson. It's a great book to kind of get you out of your head, because a lot of times when you're out here and you're in a different place, you feel like, in the book he mentions the spotlight effect, where we think that we are like the center of what people are paying attention to. But in a lot of cases that's not the case. No one really cares what you're doing. No one really cares what you're doing in there. So just be yourself, do your thing, and don't give a fuck about other people, man. Like, just put yourself in these different situations. Like get into those language exchanges, get into like different activities, whether it's boxing, gym, just put yourself out there where you get to meet people. Even for me, like I'm a fluent Spanish speaker, but there's sometimes that I fuck up when I'm speaking in Spanish as well. And it's just part of it, man. I think the biggest thing is the guy behind the language, the guy behind who's talking, right? Because if they see that this guy has frame, he has this presence to him, they respect that part more. If it's like this weak, like short guy, not short.
Yeah, you can be short. It's okay. Kevin Hart's.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Kevin Hart. Like, Kevin Hart is the epitome of maximizing every aspect of his character.
Using your cards.
But yeah, if you come across with like weak body language and you're just like, hey, trying to talk to her in Spanish, bro, she's gonna curve you, man. Like, it's the presence that comes behind the attempt. So if you come at her with confidence, like, hey, I'm trying to learn Spanish, I'm trying to level up my skills, I was wondering if I could practice with you, like
he's this is a free. This should not be a free conversation.
Little things like that, bro. Like, she's gonna be, and if she likes you, she's gonna entertain her. But you guys are gonna get talking, and she's gonna be like, yeah, well, I'm new. If you get your number, we can hang out maybe sometime, and then from there, bro, there's an endless world of possibilities that can happen.
This is why this was the guy. You see that game? You have to think about it. That's probably what it does. That's crazy, man.
Man, I really appreciate you being on the call. I know that we're getting to the top of the hour, and I also have to jump, but I think we did a good job of covering a lot of key topics on this video, and I think we'll probably do a part 2, because there's a couple of questions that I still got here, man, that I wanted to ask you. But we'll schedule that one for a future video. But I really appreciate you coming on. If you can let us know where we can find you, any of your channels.
Yeah, man. I mean, yeah. So thank you for that. And of course, it was a fun conversation. Again, it's going to be ikechi.pfe, ikechi.pfe on Instagram and TikTok. My focus is having conversations with people to help make their lives better with their finances. So that's my purpose. It's what I live for. It's not about the money. It's about sitting down and making a difference. So if you're interested in that, let's have a conversation. Let's see if we can work together, and let's see if we can work together towards your future.
Absolutely. I really appreciate it, man. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and we'll pick this up in the future.
Good luck.
Appreciate it, man. We are out.